beautiful as the Rocky Mountains? They're incredible! What are you doing?
Well, this is my grizzly bear detector, and for some reason, it's going off.
That's so cool. How does it work?
Well, I programmed it to pick up on grizzly bear fur and scent, but it's just going off. I mean, we're traveling way too fast to pick anything up.
It looks like it's pointing that way.
Yeah. Whoa! In this episode of CG Kids, we head to Jasper at the heart of the Canadian Rockies in Alberta.
We go whitewater rafting down the Smoky River with 14-year-old rafting expert Kate Goldie. Then we get the scoop and the poop on the Rockies grizzly bears.
Then we hop onto a snow coach that takes us right onto a real glacier.
In Jay's geology, I make my own Rocky Mountains and see how they affect Canada.
Rapids and glaciers and bears, oh my! All on this episode of CG Kids.
Canadian Geographic Kids.
We're in Grand Cache, Alberta, a small community of about 4,000 people on a mountain plateau of the Rockies. And this place has some incredible views.
And fabulous waterways like this one. This is the Smoky River. It flows through Grand Cache all the way to the Peace River. There's a lot of fast-flowing water in this river because it's fed by a lot of little streams and rivers. And Edie and I are going to be speeding down this river in this rubber dinghy any moment.
We are? What Jamie doesn't realize is that the Smoky River's main water source is a glacier, the Robson Glacier, and the average temperature is about 5 degrees Celsius.
Edie's right, but it isn't just the Smoky River that is fed by glaciers. Tons of rivers in Canada have huge, thick melting ice from the Rockies to thank for their existence. The Canadian Rockies kind of act like a border between British Columbia and Alberta. They extend more than 1,200 kilometers from the US border with BC and Alberta to the Liard River Basin, within the corners of northern BC, the Yukon, and the Northwest Territories. And there are hundreds of glaciers just within these Rockies. Although most of these glaciers were created at least 10,000 years ago, they've been able to last a long time because they're so thick. Some of the Rockies glaciers are deeper than 350 meters. Jamie and Edie are just north of Jasper National Park of Canada. The Rocky Mountains contain 5 national parks of Canada: Banff, Yoho, Kootenay, Waterton Lakes, and the largest, Jasper, which contain these incredible glaciers. Jamie and Edie are in Grand Cache, Alberta. This is the Smoky River running along here. You can see how it flows into the Peace River, Peace to Slave, Slave to Mackenzie, and Mackenzie up to the Arctic Ocean. So Jamie and Edie could actually end up in the Arctic Ocean, and they're worried about how cold the Smoky River is?
We're here at Wild Blue Yonder Tours, and we're hooking up with 14-year-old Kate Wasdall, because this is her family's store.
Kate's gonna take us whitewater rafting, and we are so psyched, but we can't find anything on our list.
What's on your list?
Snowsuit, toque, mucklucks, earmuffs, long johns.
Why would you need all of that?
Are you kidding? That's glacial water. You fall in, you can freeze to death.
But if you fall in with a snowsuit and mucklucks, you could drown.
Kate?
Kate! You must be Kate! Hello!
Hey, Kate!
How would I take you around the office and show you some of the proper gear?
That sounds great, but let me inform you that I did bring my own thermal underwear.
Oh, too much information. So we've got the wetsuit and the helmet, but how is this wetsuit gonna keep us warm? It's so thin.
This wetsuit's made out of neoprene, and what it does is it creates a layer of water between your body and the wetsuit, and so your body heat warms it up, and the neoprene keeps it in.
How long have you been whitewater rafting?
I've been whitewater rafting since I was 6.
So do you have any like favorite rivers?
My favorite river is probably the Kakwa because there's big waves, and it's an overnight trip.
Overnight, so it's whitewater, sleep, more whitewater the next day?
Yeah, there's a float bit at the end, and it's kind of relaxing.
That's amazing.
Have you ever capsized?
Nope, I've seen people capsize, but haven't been on one.
So do we have all the gear we need?
We also are going to give you life jackets to help keep you afloat.
Life jackets. So what is the best part? What's the best part about whitewater rafting?
I don't know. I think that the waves are the best part of whitewater rafting.
So I suppose the idea is not to fall into the water.
Well, that shouldn't happen, but do you guys know what to do if you do fall in?
Swim to shore?
No, you have to use the defensive swim position.
Oh, we got that covered. Defensive positions!
You guys got the wrong idea.
Oh? Uh-huh. Okay.
What you have to do is if you do start to fall in, you got to try to grab this line on the side of the boat. But
Okay.
if you do miss it, what you're going to do is you're going to try to get on your back and put your feet up. And if you do come to an obstacle, just point your feet towards it, and then you use your arms to move backwards from it. And what they're going to do is they're going to have their life jacket on, so you're going to grab them on the underneath of their life jacket, and you're just going to use your whole weight just to pull them backwards onto yourself.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody, I just wanted to introduce you to your guide. This is Yo.
Yo!
Yo is joining us because Kate isn't old enough yet to be a rafting guide, but she has navigated a slightly slower river.
So Kate, why do they call this river the Smoky River?
Because a long time ago, there was a forest fire in this river, and there's big coal seams along the mountain, and they lit up the coal seams, so for years afterwards, they smoked. So the natives called it the Smoke-Een River, but when the settlers came in, they thought they were calling it the Smoky River, so it just got called the Smoky River.
Okay, there. Looks like we got everything for our whitewater rafting trip. The first rule is you guys got to tie your feet and hands to the boat, okay?
But that sounds dangerous.
Danger is why we do this. We love it.
Can I help you with anything?
We're going whitewater rafting. We just need one of those inflatable things.
A raft?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, you know, to be a guide, you need to be over 18, experienced, and have first aid.
I am way over 18. And besides, check this out. I got myself a badge here.
That's a CG Kids badge.
No, that stands for Competent Guide for Kids.
No, it stands for Canadian Geographic Kids.
Oh, no, come on. You're gonna miss the best fun. You know what it stands for is Completely Gullible Kids.
Hey guys, guess what time it is?
It's triviography time, and the question is, what is a tarn?
Turn?
And it's not something your grandpa says when he hits his thumb with a hammer.
Oh, tarn-nagged thing!
And it's not something you might wear to your mate Angus's birthday.
Tarnton?
Okay, now see if you can get the answer before Jay does.
Maybe we should give him a hint.
Oh no, we are not supposed to leak the answer.
You may be right, but we do have a leak in the boat. We're on board a snow coach, which is taking us on to the Columbia Ice Field. The Columbia Ice Field is a huge glacier located in Jasper National Park of Canada.
A glacier is defined as a large mass of ice formed partially on land. What makes glaciers unique is their ability to move. Due to their massive size, glaciers flow kind of like a slow river.
This ice field is about 325 square kilometers, making it the largest accumulation of snow and ice in the Rockies. It straddles the Alberta and the BC border. Brewster's Snow Coach Tours has buses with oversized snow tires so they can maneuver on the ice without slipping. It's the only way to safely ride onto and check out an actual glacier. It's really dangerous to explore beyond the designated or roped off areas of this glacier because there are open crevasses and just the unpredictable nature of snow and ice.
But we're prepared. We've got warm sweaters, waterproof jackets.
A hat, sunscreen, and these really cool crampons they just hook onto your boots.
But most importantly, we have a professional certified glacier tour guide.
Hey, professional certified glacier tour guide!
Why don't you just call me Peter?
All right.
Are you ready to go explore my glacier?
Yes!
Let's go.
So this would be a vivid example of the dangers of walking on a glacier.
Yeah, from here you can see that it's quite severely undercut. So you could be walking along the edge on what you think is solid ice, when in fact all you're walking over is a few inches of ice, and then underneath could be a big hole. Surprise.
Splash.
Yes. Want to go for a swim?
No.
No.
Oh, watch out here, folks.
Whoa.
Peter, what is that?
This is what we call a mill well. The water flows down, there's a crack in the ice or some other weakness, and the water begins to carve away. Some of these shafts go down just a few meters. A lot of them go straight down up to 80 meters. I threw a rock into one time. It took 4 seconds to hit the bottom.
Peter, what's that rumbling sound?
If you look up in this cirque, you can probably see a little bit of snow and a snow avalanche
Oh,
tumbling
yeah.
down up there. Aren't you glad we're not over there?
Why is this glacier here?
That's an easy question to answer. All you really need is to have more snow falling than melting. So if you go up onto the Columbia ice field, even in the summer, you're going to find snow on the surface. As you dig down, you find denser, older snow, and you eventually see a transition from snow to glacier ice within about 30 meters of the surface. And then it begins gradually to flow downhill. So what we're standing on is overflow from the ice field.
Glaciers play obviously a big part in forming the way the Earth is now. Has it formed these mountains that are around us?
Well, it hasn't actually formed the mountains because they were formed before the glaciers arrived. But what they've done is they've carved and sculpted the Canadian Rockies into their present day shapes.
So Peter, where's all this water coming from?
This water is coming from melting snow and ice on the glacier right up behind us.
Where's all this water going to?
This stream heads north to the Arctic Ocean, but waters from the rest of the ice field flow to the west out to the Pacific, and then to the east to the Atlantic Ocean.
All three oceans fed by this glacier.
Exactly.
Wow.
So how old would you say this water is?
Well, the water here could be anywhere from just a few years old, melting snow, to perhaps thousands of years old.
Does that make it really good to drink?
Would you like some?
I would. Edie, darling.
Cheers.
All right, guys, it's time for the answer to the triviography question.
Yeah, Jamie almost leaked it out earlier.
What is a tarn?
Tarn. There are some amazing and beautiful tarns in the Canadian Rockies. Tarn refers to a small mountainous lake or pool that is created from melting glaciers. These lakes usually form within a deep basin that has been eroded within a mountain by a glacier. There are hundreds of tarns in the Canadian Rockies, such as Emerald Lake, with its amazing blue-green water.
You know what, Edie? My grizzly bear detector is not picking anything up. I think we might be in the wrong place.
Oh, no, this is definitely the place. This is Jasper National Park of Canada. This park protects over 10,800 square kilometers of an incredible Rocky Mountain ecosystem. And it's one of the few places in Canada where you can find a full range of carnivores. Everything from mountain lions to wolves to...
Grizzly bears! Whoa! Whoa!
And,
Hello.
it's coming this way.
No. That's Gordon Stenhouse.
Oh,
good to meet you.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Mike.
Hi, Mike. How's it going?
Good, thanks. And this is my boy Boone.
Oh!
How's it going, Boone? So, you gentlemen, you work with high-tech bear detecting equipment, am I right?
Yes, we do. Yes.
I would like to take this opportunity to show you something that I made. This picks up on bear fur and scent. You can check out that unit there.
Well, that's certainly unique.
Yeah.
Gord has been studying grizzly bears at the Foothills Model Forest within Jasper National Park of Canada for almost 5 years. He's been studying what impact human activity can have on bears. Mike and Boone have been helping him out.
So, Mike, what does Boone do?
Well, he's essentially trained to find bear scat, but recently we've trained him to find bear dens.
Bear scat is actually poop, so Boone has been trained to get the scoop on the poop.
Show me. Good boy.
So, Gordon, why is it important to track bear scat?
Well, finding this scat, we take this back to the lab and we take it apart to see what bears have been eating. So whether they've been eating plant matter or berries or sometimes ungulate, which is moose and sheep and deer. We also can extract DNA from it. So we can identify individual bears. We can tell whether it's a black bear or a grizzly bear. You can tell the sex, whether it's male or female. And we can learn things like reproductive hormones, whether a female is pregnant or not.
And so why would you want to know a bear's diet?
Well, it's important because we want to identify where good bear habitat is, so we can take steps to make sure that good bear habitat is always on the landscape. So we can use it for planning purposes. Knowing where good bear habitat is important for the long-term conservation of this species.
Next, Gord took us up by helicopter to check out his study area of the park.
How big of an area do you study?
Right now we're working in an area that's, our core study is about 10,000 square kilometers, but we've expanded this year and we're actually working in an area of about 100,000 square kilometers, so it's a big chunk of Alberta.
How do you collect data from the helicopter?
Right now we're flying through Rocky Pass into Jasper National Park looking for some of our radio-collared bears. Each bear has a GPS radio on it, and what it's programmed to do, once a month these collars are programmed on a specific date and time to transmit all the data, all their locations of where these bears have been up to us in the helicopter into a receiver that we have on board.
Suddenly we spotted a bear and her cub off in the distance. The bear is known as G3 by the researchers.
The beep that you're now hearing is the ear tag transmitter that's on the bear whose den we're going to.
Since we knew that G3 and her cub were out wandering, we landed near her den to check it out.
So the den is in this vicinity right here. Oh, here we go.
Oh yeah.
Here's the den of grizzly G3. Well, I think we should check this out. Who wants to go in?
Me!
Okay, let's go.
Woo! You just holler if there's anything furry.
Oh, don't you worry.
How is it?
It's great!
Comfy?
I love it!
The other thing, when bears are in dens, they don't eat or drink anything. They have something that's called a rectal plug that they develop. They eat all sorts of grasses and vegetation, stuff like this, that they might eat, and then it forms a plug. So it's just like, I don't have to go to the bathroom for another 4 or 5 months here, and I'm going in there, and when they come out, the plug comes out, and
That is so handy.
They defecate, and off they go.
So then in the spring, the reward of a long sleep is coming out to this beautiful view.
The hills I encounter in this park are nothing like the Rocky Mountains, where you can find some of Canada's rockiest and steepest slopes. They're a force to be reckoned with, and not just on a mountain bike. The 4 ranges of the Rocky Mountains reach heights of almost 4,000 meters, but this area hasn't always been this way. About 170 million years ago, two big chunks of the Earth's surface, the North American plate and the Pacific plate, crashed into each other. These two forces pushing into each other caused rock layers to slowly squeeze into folds, like these towels, over millions of years. That's why the Rockies are referred to as fold mountains. This created the Western Range, Main Range, Front Range, and finally, smaller foothills just before the prairies. Another way to understand the formation of these mountain ranges is to think of the collision as causing a shock wave. The foothills would represent the point at which the wave began to run out of steam. Watch. See how the loop of the skipping rope is larger near my hand and gradually peters out? Of course, it was a lot slower than this. But this is how the Rockies were formed millions of years ago. Let's check out what's going on with them since then and how they affect Canada. The Rockies have had a pretty big role in shaping our country in a number of ways. Thousands of years ago during the Ice Ages, glaciers advanced and retreated over the Rockies. I've made my Rockies from clay and crumbled cookies. My glacier is made out of soft ice cream to illustrate how a glacier picks up rocks and debris along its way. Watch what happens when my glacier reaches these rocks. It easily carries them along. You can imagine how incredibly powerful glaciers are and how they gave the Rockies their steep, jagged shape. The Rocky Mountains have a lot of influence on rain. Wind usually blows over the Rockies from west to east. The western side of the mountains also happen to get a lot more rain and snow than the eastern side. I'm putting gloves on to handle some dry ice. Dry ice is frozen carbon dioxide that melts into a gas rather than into water. I'm going to use this gas to represent air blowing toward the mountains. The height of the mountains forces the air to move upwards. As the air gets higher, it gets cooler, causing the water vapor in the air to condense, form clouds, and fall to the ground as rain. This is called the orographic effect. When the air mass reaches the other side of the mountains, it has very little moisture left in it, so this area receives a lot less rain. This is known as the rain shadow effect. The Rockies have been a great barrier to building roads and rail lines from coast to coast, and also for some animals, but not people, although I think I'll stick to city cycling.
A fantastic fact about the Rockies is that in 1909, Charles Doolittle Walcott was searching for fossils in Yoho National Park of Canada when he accidentally stumbled across a block of shale bearing the imprints of soft-bodied organisms. So far, approximately 150 species of invertebrates have been discovered at the site, such as sponges, sea worms, and tiny sea monsters. Many of these species are rare and one of a kind, and that is why it has been declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it is one of the most significant fossil deposits in the world. Way to go, Charlie!
The Rockies are so amazing. I mean, we could spend another month here and still not see everything.
I can't believe what we did see. Just a few thousand years ago, this whole area was covered with glaciers.
Beautiful glaciers, beautiful forests. What more could you ask for?
Edie, my detector's beeping again.
Luckily, we know that thing isn't really working.
Oh! It is working!
Congratulations! Yeah. Back away. And don't make eye contact.
That's funny. I'm bad, I know I'm bad. That's funny though. Ha! Whoa! Sorry, this Snookooch is off duty.
Off duty?
Get you later. They're going to see me at the monster truck rally, and I'm gonna squish cars.